Ready, set.
Lashlee from SMU Mustangs open the season against Louisiana Tech on September 2nd. Coach will take an opening statement, and then we'll go to questions.
All right. Guess we get to end this thing. I'm excited and humbled just going into year 2 as the head coach at SMU. Happy to be here in person. I want to thank our leadership at SMU for all they do to support us, our president, Dr. Gerald Turner, and all he does for our entire school, but especially our football program, our athletics director, Rick Hart, and his entire staff, all they do to support us and give us what we need to compete and be successful. And our board chair, David Miller, and our entire board of trustees, they're second to none when it comes to helping us compete at a high level. I want to thank Mike Oresco and all he's done with his leadership here in the league and where he's taken us here as we enter a new decade. Really excited to have Jamie Hickson on board too. I mean, enjoyed working with him. I think what he's going to do in football is fantastic. Look, I get asked a lot of questions throughout last night and today about the changing of our league, and it was kind of interesting thinking about it. This will be my 4th out of the last 6 years in this league. So I was 2 as a coordinator, now going into my 2nd as a head coach, and I've seen the before and what we're going into. Man, it's a great league, and I just think that I could make the argument that our league's probably going to be deeper than it's been before, not only this year but in the future. And you look at we got our champion back in Tulane, and what Willie and them did is fantastic. They deserve a lot of credit. Got a lot of really good teams in this league, and we got some really good schools coming in, 3 of them with a lot of championship pedigree. And you just look at the list of coaches in our league, it's impressive, you know. And so I'm really excited about what it's going to take to try to win this league this year, because it's going to be as good a challenge, if not better, than it's ever been. I'm excited about our team. I'm really excited about our team. Just the roster our staff has put together, from returning players to high school kids to transfers, all in between. Just we got a good group, and they've been fun to watch them just work together in the spring and summer. You know, we know there's 14 teams in this league. It's going to be really hard to be one. We're excited that we feel like we have a team that can compete for the championship. But we know it's going to take an uncommon effort, uncommon focus, and that's what we're excited about, the opportunity to get to do. So with that being said, any questions?
Yep, if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you.
Coach, you spoke on the depth of the conference. What would you define as success going into year 2 for you at SMU?
You know, it's a great question. And with the league as it is, it's when you're in a really good league, there's no easy weeks, just like it is in this league. You know, we felt like over the last 4 or 5 years, our program has really been gaining momentum. We've been winning. We've been consistently winning and going to bowl games and finishing in the top, 3, 4, 5 of our league, like we did a year ago. And so we put ourselves in contention, for lack of a better word. Year 1, last year as our team, we felt like we did a good job of finishing down the stretch. That's something that we had to answer when we got there. But going 5-2 down the stretch, 3-1 in the league in November was a big deal to us. So hopefully we can build on that. We got some really hungry returning players like the guys I brought here, Tyler Levine, Marcus Bryant, DeVere Levelston, Elijah Chapman. Those guys have played a lot of football at SMU. They've done a lot for our program. And I think they're really excited about what this team can do in year 2 to try to take what we did last year and build on, now that we're all in contention to start the season, but we feel like we put ourselves in that conversation to compete for a championship. And so, that's what we'll decide at the end of the year, if it was successful or not, but we want to put ourselves in contention.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Rhett.
Hey, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Tulane obviously went and won a Cotton Bowl last year. Cincinnati made a CFP. The expanded playoff is on the horizon. I guess for a program like yours that's in contention for an American Athletic Conference title, how motivating is what you guys could do after the regular season?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, that's, again, the great thing about being in this league and being in the American. And we want to compete at SMU. We want to compete at the highest level, and you can do that in the American. We're competing at the highest level, both in our conference and potentially at the end of the season. You saw what Tulane did against USC, and you named Commissioner Oresco named all the litany of successes our league has had in the last decade. We feel like that if we're fortunate enough to ever get out and represent this league as the champion, that gives us that opportunity too. So you definitely gain confidence when your peers in the league go out and do that. And And so, we're hoping that we can add that value to the league as well.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Coach, your university and specifically your program, along with one other in the United States, is the subject of constant speculation about its future, about where it could or could not be. Do you bother even addressing that with your current players or potential recruits?
It's a great question. I like the way you asked it, too.
Thank you.
I'm tracking with you, though. No, I don't, because first of all, I have no control over it, neither do our kids. But like I said earlier, from our president to our AD to our football department, our goal is to compete at the highest level. We think SMU has a history when you go back to the Pony Express and Eric Dickerson and Craig James and Doak Walker and national championships and all the championships we've won in leagues. Like, we have a history that we think should put us in position to say we can compete at the highest level. Now, we didn't do that for a long time, and we feel like we're now getting traction to do that again. And so being in this league, we can do that. And so that's all that really matters. All we can control is go out and try to have a good season and put ourselves in position to do what we want to do. And fortunately for us, we're in the American, and that gives us the ability to do that.
Zach Barnett, Football Scoop. Coach, what are your expectations for Preston Stone this season?
Great question, Zach. I just expect Preston to go be Preston. Fortunately, I got to recruit him from his 9th grade year on and then got to coach him last year in college. And, Preston has a contagious leadership that is just this joy for life and for football that bleeds over to our team. We all know he's talented. He proved it in high school. Everybody knows what he did do and what we think he can do. He just got to go be him. Look, being a starting quarterback in college football is tough. There's a reason there's only about 133 of them in Division I, right? And there's a lot of pressure on that position, and there's going to be a lot of expectation on a guy like that who grew up wanting to play at SMU from Dallas and all he had done before. He just got to go be himself and trust his teammates around him. Our opening 4 weeks is really tough before we get into conference. I mean, the learning curve is going to be steep, but I think he's just going to get better and better each week. And so I just want him to be him, because I know if he's him, that's going to be good enough.
Coach, this is Greg Luca with the San Antonio Express News. SMU is regarded as having a very strong base for NIL opportunities. I'm curious how you've seen that impact the program in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what's going on in the last couple of years in college football with NIL and transfer, that dominates, especially the out-of-season news cycle, and rightfully so. I think that's the beauty of being at a place like SMU is we're in Dallas, so we're in a top 5 media market, the number 1 city in the country for jobs and business. We have everything you need in a city, and we're the only Division I school there. We have an incredible alumni base, an incredible institution with tradition. And so, that's kind of one of the biggest selling points for us if you come to SMU is our life after football. And that's not counting the NFL. Like, you get a degree, and you're going to do very, very well if you get a degree at SMU here in Dallas. So that same alumni base within the rules is what, right now is giving SMU, just like it does a bunch of other institutions, a chance to compete in the new landscape of college football. But the thing I love about it is we do it the right way. Everything's within the rules. And we still got a lot of guys that just want to come to SMU, and then they want to stay at SMU.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks so much, Coach.
Hey, I just want to end by saying thank you to y'all, the media. Like, your job's hard, but thank you for elevating our sport, elevating our student athletes, all you do. You're great for our sport, and we appreciate it.